Now, one of the things that we all go to bed or we wake up thinking about this world. One of the things that we all go to bed uh, thinking about this world. One of the things you will whether you like it or not, it's difficult to go through a day or an hour without thinking about it. Is world, how to build world, how to keep world, how to even share world. However, if you don't get world, how you want even share world. Yeah, but one of the thing we people always get concerned about is it's a conversation, big conversation. One of those conversations people will have with others, people will have with themselves, people will, whether you like it or not. At some point in your life, you must be thinking about world. Either you think about how you want to get world, or you think about how some others they do acquire world. Today, it's gonna be a world conversation. During the week, last weekend. By the way, shout out to everyone who is watching and happy Monday. It's a new week. A new week. It's more like a new page for you to write something new to the book of life. And we, the disciple, always start the week with something money talk, world building, and things like that. That's the reason why the first person I want to talk to every Monday is Charles Njoya. For those who don't know, 26 years helping the world to get wealthy, 26 years helping the super wealthy get super rich, 26 years um, whining and dining with these people that we not and they control the world of the world. And then all of a sudden he's like, you know what? I can't continue like this. My people will get for chop, my people get for grow, my people get for get more than we get now. And that is how he started doing things for our community. So I'll bring it in and then we will jump into this wonderful conversation for today. Well,
Good morning.
good
Good
morning.
morning. Good morning. Good
How are you?
morning. Good morning.
How are you?
Excited. Another beginning of a week.
Mhm,
Exciting to come and talk this
mhm,
morning. Exciting to be part of this world
mhm.
and to continually help to basically build our own trajectory.
Ah,
Um, we are all hopeful to leave a legacy,
mhm,
and we have to strive to get to where we want to go. And that's why we're here. We're here to talk. We're here to share, because
mhm,
there's a lot of people out there who know a lot more than what we know. But it's also important, like I say all the time, it's important that on platforms like this we are able to come and debate. There are certain things that we say here that somebody might have a better idea. Let him come here and debate, so that what are we doing? We are able to take that information and share to the community. One or two of them are going to apply just this and be able to win on their own. And
mhm.
we've had so many testimonies from people who just call and say, hey, that thing that you said that this day was crazy, and it just helped me, because it was just like a something that just came to me, like it was just like if it was God speaking to me, because I was really at that point where I just needed that thing, and I was being strong and I was struggling. As soon as you said that, it was just like you opened my eyes to doing something. And those are the type of things we want to hear. We want to talk about. I mean, I would also like someone to come here and say, hey, that thing you said is not right. This is the way we want to do it. This is the way we do it. That's why we're here, for that type of debate, contradictory debate, that all are there to edify our people and move them forward.
But you talked about earlier about legacy. What would be a legacy for you, or what would be a better legacy for you? Yeah,
You're talking about my legacy.
no, not your legacy. Like for you, generally, what do you think people should? Con-
Legacy for me, when I talk about legacy, I'm telling people, what do you want people to remember you for? That's a
Mhm.
legacy. When
Yeah.
we look back and we start talking about all these other people who did A, B, C, everybody who is on earth here
Mhm.
wants to be remembered in a particular way.
Yeah.
Everybody has something he wants to leave in this world. And
Mhm.
unless you become intentional about making that happen, it will not happen.
Mhm.
If you want people to remember you as a guy who helped hundreds of people in the community, gave food to people, you have to start something that starts giving those type of things to people. Even if you start from one,
Yeah.
before you know it, you'll have two, you'll have three. So those type of legacies, if you want to be remembered as a teacher, somebody who taught people on how to live as a community. Then you start teaching, you start doing that. Do that in any way possible. If you want to be remembered as that guy who, I mean, there are so many things that
Mhm.
edify us. There are so many ways we want to be remembered. But nobody on this earth wants to go and not be remembered. Nobody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody. So
Wow.
that's our legacy. And
Wow.
we need to start working on that legacy.
Oh. Guys, it's going to be another interesting segment, especially because I had a conversation with someone who follows us, who watched the show. They even tell me they already call it, and they don't get their solution to their problem. So they suggest. I had a conversation with a few guys, and they suggested we talk about uh, questions the way most people, especially most people, they not actually really be wealthy. They ask about the wealthy people then for the about how the wealthy people then for the well they go about things. So we finally come up with, they send me their own questions. Them I come up with my own questions. I add them, and then I will post on my status. Maybe they send me questions. So they send me some questions about 10 or how many. We will talk about them. So the conversation is going to be about the mind of the wealthy. Give me from my own perspective, own opinion. Like you don't talk for you. Most of the things we say come from you don't do research, from experience and all of that. But we do always consider them as an opinion because one leave room for another person who can challenge them. So the way that person will challenge us. So today will be another day for we forget that same conversation. Boss, the very first question, the wealthy people of this world, because how did they become wealthy? You just yesterday man get these billions, this man get these billions, this family they run these billions, and in your own words, how do you think most of the wealthy became this wealthy?
Wealth, first of all,
Mm-hmm.
wealth from my perspective
Mm-hmm.
and the general perspective,
Mm-hmm.
you get wealthy by solving people's problems.
Okay.
Some people you get wealthy by solving a problem.
Mm-hmm.
If you cannot solve a problem, it will be hard for you to get wealth, especially for first generation.
Mm-hmm.
You have to identify a problem and solve that problem. If you
Mm-hmm.
cannot solve a problem, anything that's going to make someone want to give you money for
Mm-hmm.
can make you earn income, it can make you wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are things that you do that are basically, if you are just providing a service, 1, 2, 3 service, you can get money, living wages, and live on. But if you can identify a real problem in the community and start solving, that is going to make you wealthy. So
Wow.
instead of focusing on making money,
Mm-hmm.
you can focus on solving problems.
Wow.
The more you can solve problems, the wealthier you're going to be.
Wow.
So if you are, there are some people who are getting wealthy. I mean, there are so many ways of getting wealthy, but the number one is when you solve a problem. If you look at everybody today who is a wealthy guy, who is making a million, I mean, when we talk about wealthy, we're not talking about those super billionaires. I mean, those are wealthy, wealthy people, yes. But
Yeah.
we're talking about how can you solve anything that you are crying for, anything that is a problem to you, any challenge that you face in your own community.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you see something and you say this thing is stupid, this thing is, how can they do this way? Then there's an opportunity there for you to solve a problem
Wow.
because you have already identified the problem yourself.
Okay. Yeah.
And once you identify that that's a problem, the first thing you can see, you have to ask yourself, is this problem, is it a general problem or is it an individual problem?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you identify if that is a general problem, then the next thing is, how can I resolve this problem? If you
Yeah.
have a solution to that problem, the next thing is, can I scale it?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you cannot scale it, if you can only for somebody, there are so many things that we do that we cannot scale it. We can only do it ourselves.
Yeah.
If you find a way to scale it, then that's when it becomes crazy. You can build a wealth out of being able to scale something. Any problem that you solve, you have to look for a way that how can this be resolved for more people, multiple people, thousands of people, millions of people. That's
Mm-hmm.
why social media today has become one of the biggest ways of building wealth because you're speaking one to many.
Yeah.
When you say one thing, when we say this thing, you don't know how far it's gonna go out there.
Mm. Yeah.
I mean, there are people who do things, and then you keep posting things, and maybe 30 years down the line,
Yeah.
someone picks that thing, and then it just explodes.
Yeah.
Explodes. I've been watching. I mean, there's some once it explodes, you just see your life change because of that one thing that you said maybe 20 years ago.
Yes.
Nobody watched it.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, somebody watches it. Because that's why social media, when you are able, in the past, it used to be radio.
Yeah.
Now it's become TV. Now
Yeah.
it's become social media.
Yeah.
Social media is the biggest way to build wealth. Once you identify a problem you want to solve,
Mhm.
you see how you can scale that problem. Now the next problem, because if I just see a problem and I can't start talking on social media, when people start asking for solution, there's no solution. I cannot scale it. Then how do I grow?
Yeah.
You must be ready. Okay, let me tell you something. Last week, I mean, I always talk about this. I was talking to a client, and that client told me that he was so amazed about what we had done.
Mhm.
We had done for him. And then he was saying that, "Huh, I can do something for you, but are you sure you can basically handle the time? If I bring you more clients, can you handle it?" That means scaling.
Yeah.
The problem is, how do I scale?
Sure.
How do we scale? And then look at yesterday we were having the event with one of our brothers,
Mhm.
Gustav Achu.
Yeah.
Gustav was launching his book. Most people think about they see a book, they don't know what it means. That is what you call wealth.
Yeah.
That's an asset.
Yeah.
He puts that book out there. In our community, somebody will read it. Maybe two people will read it. This, and that book is out there. Before you know it, someone picks that one book and then just multiplies in languages and does. That guy becomes so wealthy out of one book.
Mhm.
Kiyosaki became Superman out of Rich Dad Poor Dad. One book.
Mhm.
One. So there are so many things we can do when you don't have something to do. When you're okay, I don't have anything to do. Write a book. You can sit down and write a book.
Mhm.
There are things you can do that can make you wealthy. Assets are the wealth that we're looking for.
Boss. The next question is now. Now, the one actually interests me. Where do the wealthy invest? Because we know these people are wealthy. They already came up with solutions to certain problems. They probably already scaled everything. Where do they usually most of these wealthy people invest?
That's a great question. I mean, wealthy people, and look, let me tell you this. I'm seeing this based on my experience, reading
Mhm.
books, looking at people, identifying this. What do you see? Most wealthy people, especially in a country like America,
Mhm.
they invest in assets.
Mhm.
Assets is going to be their wealth.
Mhm.
So now the next question is, what type of assets? I mean, I'll tell you, let me ask you this. I mean, the first thing when you have too much time, it means that you have a problem. I mean, I don't want to say you have a problem,
Yeah.
but when time is the biggest factor that you can convert into money.
When.
If you can, if you can, your time. That's why when you have time in your hands, you use it to create things.
Mhm.
Creativity is that thing that's going to give you a lot of money. Most of these people, the Elon Musk, the Warren Buffett,
Yes.
the Bill Gates, all these guys, the Apple, all these guys, they created something. They
Yeah.
created something. When you create something and then you market it around the world, marketing is so important in making you wealthy.
Mhm.
You create something and then you market it through the channels. Once something becomes viral, the world, we have almost 8 billion people on planet Earth.
Mhm.
If you are selling, if you are selling pure water,
Mhm.
and then that pure water, you can market it in Nigeria, you're a billionaire.
Mhm.
Just in Nigeria. In Cameroon, you're a billionaire.
Yep.
$1. The marketing is key. Somebody has to, number one, you have to be able to scale. Number two, somebody has to carry you and then put in the minds of people That's why social media has become the place where everybody's targeting, even
Mhm.
education, because they change your mindset into believing that something that somebody didn't even like is the best thing in the world. Everybody goes to how do they call it? Everybody goes to buy coffee. You tell people to go and buy coffee. Everybody says Starbucks. They are going to Starbucks. They are going to Starbucks. Coffee is everywhere. Even the one in your house, people want the one at Starbucks.
Mhm.
That's you invest in things. I mean, you can when I say investing in assets, you're investing in things you create, you're creating and you're
Mhm.
marketing. That book that Gustav wrote yesterday, that was his mind. He said it that those are things that he's been thinking about for the last 20 years. He's
Mhm.
been writing those things for the last 20 years. All of a sudden, he decided that I want to put this and conceive it in the book. Now, the biggest thing he can do for that book is not what is inside the book.
Mhm.
It's not the content, it's the marketing.
Mhm.
That book can make him $1 billion if he can get the right marketing.
Okay.
Marketing is bigger than anything when it comes to wealth building. Wealthy people have a way of communicating things that don't have value. They can sell it. Yes. So
Mhm.
if you create everything and you cannot talk, you cannot sell, the person who's going to make money from there is the person who's going to be like the middleman who takes it and goes and sells it.
Mhm.
Marketing is going to be key. So people invest in assets, people save, some people are in real estate, some people go into the stock market. But
Mhm.
if you want to invest in the stock market, you must be a guy who knows how to invest in the stock market. Some people they do things that they didn't know. You go once you start, you have to take certain things. People are investing in the stock. To invest in the stock market, you have to have the ability to invest in certain particular types of stocks for the long term and hope that the market is going to change. When it happens, some people win by luck because they just did something and it comes overnight. So
Wow.
wealth, you invest in something that you see. I mean, what are you investing in? You are investing in something that you feel passionate about, you feel strongly about. You feel that you know that you've done your feasibility study and you know that that thing is a winning thing in the market. And then you market it.
Boss,
Marketing is what changes the game for anything you do.
boss, is it fair to say wealthy people also invest in knowledge? Either they go to acquire the knowledge themselves or they invest in people who have this knowledge and it's just going to help structure them, structure their businesses, structure their everything.
You know what? That's the best way of saying it.
Mm-hmm.
Wealthy people, they create something and then they look for the best people. They leverage
Mm-hmm.
knowledge.
Yeah.
Knowledge. When I said creativity, I
Yeah.
said if you create something and you cannot leverage the best people to sell it for you, where are
Yeah.
you going? You're not going anywhere.
That's true.
Most people have income that allows them to be able to build wealth,
Mm-hmm.
but they just don't know how to build wealth. And
Mm-hmm.
then they are not ready, or their mindset doesn't allow them to be able to invest in that proper way to build the wealth.
Yeah.
And guess what? They stay there until they retire.
Yeah.
And when you retire on that income, guess what? The income is gone. The wealth that you were supposed to build, someone else managed it and took it away from you.
Yeah.
Leverage is key to wealth building. Knowledge is key to wealth building. Is key to wealth building. Yes. That was a great answer. That was a great one. So when you think about creativity, you can create everything if
Mhm.
somebody doesn't carry you along. We can sit in this office and tell people about how the tax code is heaven and earth is doing everything. We
Mhm.
know it in this office. If I don't leverage social media, if I don't leverage marketing platforms like TV, radio, if I don't leverage all those B2B platforms, one to many platforms, for them to understand that I have a product that I want to sell, there must be a product and there must be a market. If you have a product, you don't have a market, it's as good as having nothing.
Mhm.
And the market, I mean, some people have developed themselves into the best salespeople. If you cannot say what you're doing, It's hard for you to go somewhere. Someone else will take it away from you and build himself.
Oh, that's true, boss. Yeah, especially when it comes to sales. Um, I think that was one sales, which is technically communication. You must know
Yes,
how to communicate your ideas. You must know how to communicate your product more, even your service. If you don't know how to sell it, you just become a
relationship management.
yeah.
If you come and sit at the same place, whatever, we have a lot of great people who have created great things.
Things.
Let me ask you something. Do you think Teslas are the best car vehicles in the
No,
market in the world?
no.
No. They're
The
just being
market
marketed in
is
the
yeah,
right way. They tell you that the packaging is everything. Packaging means your communication,
yeah.
your marketing, your branding, the way everything that packaging. Would you talk that everything that packaging?
Yeah.
Yes. So packaging is everything. And that's why leverage is everything. When we sit here in CHN in our company, one of the biggest things I work on, in as much as I work on trying to sell our product out there, so that people can know that we have value that we're selling for them, that we're giving to them. We also want to build the teams. And that teams means we are leveraging different competencies to make sure that those people don't come cheap. The best people don't come cheap.
That's true.
If you don't put a price, if you think that your price, this is so important. Anything that's cheap doesn't have value 99.99% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that's cheap doesn't have value. I'm not saying that don't go out there and your focus is on cheap. You will not be able to go to where you want to go.
Mm.
The key is on value. And how do you get value? There is no one person in the United States or in the world who has everything you need to get to that place you want to go. There's not one.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one. So what do? You leverage. When you say you are going to look for knowledge, you are trying to understand how to best leverage the best people to take you to where you want to go. Because you can only do that much. Especially here in America, everybody has a certification. I cannot do what an attorney does.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot do what a financial advisor is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I knew everything, I cannot do it.
Mm-hmm.
And he has his price. So when we talk about a family office,
Mm-hmm.
which is important for wealthy people, for wealth building,
Mm-hmm.
which is important to leverage you so that you can get into. If you want to invest in the stock market, you are not a superstar. Let someone who is a superstar, they do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to invest in real estate, how much do you know in real estate? You want to invest in energy. You want to invest in oil and gas, minerals. Mineral funds. There are people out there who are only doing that. Everything we do in our firm is about leveraging other people to come together and help our clients.
Oh.
So what we do, we are a point of contact where we bring everything that you need to you. So when you come through us, you come through Charles, maybe you come to me, you're asking me that, Charles, I want to get to this place in 5 years or to this place in 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is my problem. And in America, one of the biggest problems we have to building wealth is that the tax bill is too high. So it's taking all our money,
Mm-hmm.
the money that we have to invest in those things we want to do, we cannot give them there, especially when we're higher income. Because the smart people, they're higher income. There are 3 stages to building wealth. Number 1 is income generation. If you don't generate income, how do you start building wealth?
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with income generation is that we are in an economy where when you generate income, you pay taxes. And tax can go to up to 60%. I was going through this thing. I have a conference that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And just analysis. for $1 million person in America, in the state of New York. Your taxes, when you calculate all the taxes you pay, and leverage even your sales and local taxes, your property taxes, you're paying about 60% or even more of your income is going to taxes. So tell me, how do you, as a millionaire, if you are giving 60%, because everything you buy has a sales tax. So if you're giving 60% of your money because you're a high income earner in taxes, how can you even live? You are stuck in that race where you're struggling to survive. So if instead of doing that, so higher income means higher taxes. So the problem we have designed that the wealthy people have, the biggest problem they have is that how can I turn this income that is coming? Because how do you build wealth? You start by generating income.
Mm-hmm.
How do I avoid that 60% or even that 50% that is going to be paid on these taxes? So now if I can avoid it, I just created the money to build the wealth that I'm looking for. Because income itself is not wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Wealth is when I can take that money and use it for myself instead of giving it to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
That is when you build wealth. And now, when I sit back and I say, okay, now this is the biggest problem that we have in our community. We have all these people who've gone to all these best schools. They are making a lot of money, but they retire and die young because of what? Because they cannot live the same life they used to live because of struggles. So what are the other communities doing? You look at the other communities, you see, okay, they understand how the system works. They have been able to leverage smarter people. And I say this all the time in my firm. I tell my team and I tell people that I never want to be looked at as a smart person in my firm. I want to be the guy who just brings the smartest people together to provide value to my clients. That's it. That's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say you're bringing a strategy firm, a family office, all those people you are bringing are the best people in their industries.
Mm-hmm.
So that they give the best value to our clients. And when they give the best value to our clients, what happens? Our clients pay for value. And value has a price.
Mm-hmm.
If you hear me speaking and you say, okay, this is, I'm very clear. I tell people that, look, there's a price to taking all these services. But if you are keen on making it win for you, use the platform that I give you. I don't give you just me. I give you a platform. Yes. That is critical. That is the way wealth has been built in America. They tell you that the wealthy, they don't pay taxes. Because tax is the biggest cost you have if you're a high income earner. Once you start making more than $300,000 in America, tax becomes the biggest bill you have. Tax.
Mm-hmm.
So what do? You want to build wealth. You want to build your own legacy. You have to look for a way to solve the biggest problem you have. And America has the solution because America doesn't live on taxes. America cannot do the things that they need you to do. So they're telling you, help us do these things. You don't know how to do it. Maybe you're a physician and you know how to treat people, how to help people. You know how to give people all those type of treatments. But you are not the guy who understands what is happening on Wall Street. You're not the guy who understands what's the best market for real estate. You're not the guy who understands renewable energy. You're not the guy who understands anything that has to do with insurance or with, you don't understand anything that has to do with mineral rights, oil and gas investments. You don't know all these things. You're not the guy who can even structure the way your business works. You are not the guy who can even put them in an accounting format in a way that when somebody looks at it, he can see how you can avoid to do. I mean, So you need all those people. And if you were to get them one by one, it is so expensive. So that's why they leverage something called a family office to help you build wealth. That is the process.
Boss, we are already at 30 minutes. It's the time to fly, let's say. But one question though, we want me to answer before you leave
Yes.
me today, which is tell us about some of the habits the wealthy people have, because we feel like that's one other thing they have that the regular person don't have. Tell us about some of the habits you think, yeah.
You know, this is a very, very important question because many of us, we fail because we don't. I mean, we just don't have. There are small, very small things that you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
Managing your time is so critical.
Mm-hmm.
Time, time. I fight with my kids at home all the time because of this thing called time. If you see somebody who is perpetually absent, coming late for things, that's a bad sign.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because the only thing that is so invaluable, which doesn't repeat, is time.
Yeah.
Time. If you cannot manage your time, wake up in the morning on time. Take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Do those things that plan your day because a day only has 7 hours. How many? 24 hours. And you're only active for about half of those hours.
Yeah.
So if you cannot plan that time to do something, you keep procrastinating. Most of those things, procrastination.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, inability to take a decision.
Mm.
Wealthy people take decisions.
Yeah.
They move quick. Managing your time. Avoid procrastination.
Mm-hmm.
And then study. Learn. Learn to use other people. Leverage. Leverage. You have to have something. So, first of all, you have to be trained in what you want to do. If you're
Mm-hmm.
not trained and you know how to manage other people, you can build wealth just by managing other people.
Mm-hmm.
So those are, and then communicate, learn how to communicate.
Yeah.
Communication is a big one. Some people just say, oh, I mean, you can go to some companies, you will see that if you go to companies, I was lucky to work for one of the big companies across the world. And I was traveling from one country to the other. I mean, some of us today, we used to be what you call geniuses, but we were created to work for others just because we cannot talk. The smart people come and stand by you, and then they take everything from you because you cannot talk. Communication is
Hmm.
critical.
Hmm.
Manage your time efficiently. Learn how to, manage your time. Learn how to leverage the best people.
Mm-hmm.
Communicate.
Mm-hmm.
And then what else? Do not, and then take decisions, take action. Take action. Every day you talk about the same thing. Every day you come back, talk about the same thing. I want to do this. I want to do this. I mean, go to the graveyard, you will see the smartest. I want to do this. They are there. They are the graveyard with so many things in their head. They never took action. Take action. Take action. There are many other ones, but these are the key ones for me.
Wow.
These are the key ones. And then read. Learn how to be listened to other people. When people speak, listen. If you're someone who never listens, you know everything, you know more than everybody, you cannot do nothing. You will struggle. Listen and be ready to concede to someone who knows better than you and then use him. You cannot know it all.
Hmm.
You cannot. You cannot know it all. I
Wow.
tell you, the only way we are going to win is to be able to leverage the best people. And when you have the best people, they cost money.
Mm-hmm.
Best people cost money. If you want to be wealthy, you think that is cheap, you are not going to be wealthy. It's not cheap. There's a price to it. The best people cost money. We are in a sophisticated economy. America is a sophisticated economy. It's not like in some of the countries where we come from, where the system is very easy and straightforward. America, to trade in the stock market, you have to be sophisticated. To deal with your retirement plans, all those systems, you have to be sophisticated. And there are people who are very, very sophisticated at doing that. We use them. That's why it starts by looking, when we look at the tax bill, we say this is the biggest problem we have. So now, who are the best people that can structure according to the tax code? So now, in order to do these things, I cannot do them. As a CPA, I cannot do it. As a strategist, I cannot. I need this person to do this for me. I need this other person to do this. So that we are, it is like you're doing surgery. You're doing surgery to meet all the requirements of the code so that you can win. That's why the wealthy have their own family offices. I don't know if I'm answering your question.
Yes, boss. Boss, you answered the question so well. You answered the question so well. Thank you very much. I think we at 35 minutes to 36 minutes already. We will try for give you time for go do your other things. Thank you very much for every minute we spend with us. Like the show says, 30 minutes worth $1 million with Charles Njoya. It's actually $1 million I just added to my portfolio.
I
Um,
know. I'll tell people this. At times, people might look at this and say, oh, we talk about, I mean, some of these things will come repetitive.
yeah.
Repetitive means consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Consistency is key to winning. Consistency is key to winning. Number one, let me tell you, anything that gets to where your character is built by what? It is built by a set of habits that you're making every day. Those things, they build your character. When they call you, when they start calling you something, it means that you've done something consistently.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. At times people don't see it, they say, oh, this. Just keep doing it if you
That's
believe in
true.
it. As long as you believe and you've done your analysis, you've done your analysis, this thing is working, just keep doing it.
That's
There are
true.
days I come to the office and I look at my calendar and I say, hey, this calendar doesn't work for me. And what do I do? Do you think I just go there and say we should need? We at times we change. We tweak certain things, but consistency is going to win the game.
That's true.
Consistency, consistency, especially in a structured economy like ours. It's about consistency.
Crazy.
Yes,
Boss, thank you very much.
yes.
I think so. We'll talk again for background.
Thank you.
Wow, guys. What he's saying about consistency is so true. I've seen so many people believe came up with an idea to solve a problem, like he said, and then they just jumped into it and start looking for solutions to solve the problem. And they don't only end at looking for solutions to solve the problem. Why did they go? If they need to make any change, they need for make and they make them. If they need for bring people, they bring them. If they need for, they do the right thing and you see them grow, which is what we're actually doing right now to Reedy. It's not just about NASACO anymore. You see, Innocent is there doing the interviews in French. This weekend in Houston, we're having a host over there, and we're going to be talking to so many people. And not just Houston, we are planning to go to Maryland. We're planning to go to Cameroon this year. I'll be in Kenya, I think in June or July. I'll be in Europe, same time also, June, July. So you come up with an idea, you develop your idea, and then you start. By the way, we have a new segment coming up. It's called the American Dream. The American Dream is for us to just go around and talk to wealthy immigrants, people who left Africa, came here, but now they have $1 million business. I'm talking about businesses that are making at least $1 million. We'll go around. It's going to be more like a documentary to showcase their lifestyle, their career, and then we talk about community building. I think we'll air the first segment this coming weekend, but then we have a long list of Cameroonian millionaires lined up that are ready to jump on the show. Thank you guys very much. See you guys on the next one.